In this video, we are going to continue to discuss solving two-step equations. So this is something that we were introduced to in topic 11, and we are going to continue by amping it up a little bit more and adding in some more concepts. So let's get started. So as a reminder, when you are solving two-step equations, you are going to undo things in the opposite order that you would do them. So we are doing the order of operations in reverse. Normally, you would add and subtract last, so that's what we're going to undo first. We would undo any addition and subtraction first, then we would undo any multiplication and division. All right, so let's see what this looks like. Just another thing to bring up, you can use the commutative property to reorder terms, so it looks a little bit easier to solve for you. So for example, this 3 plus 3t, I can use the commutative property and rewrite this as 3t plus 3 equals 17. Now it is much more clear that this 3 is being subtracted, or it's being added, so we're going to undo it with subtraction. So now I have 3t equals 14. And I am, because 17 minus 3 is going to be 14. Divide both sides by 3. So t is going to equal 14 over 3, which would be the same as 4 and 2/3, because 3 times 4 is 12, with 2/3 left over. You could go back in and plug in the 4 and 2/3 to make sure that it works, and you would find that 3 over 1 times 14 over 3. These 3's would cancel out, so you're really just left with 14. And then 3 plus 14 would be 17. So you can always go back in still and plug in and make sure that you did everything right. All right, let's look at 47 equals -3 plus 8y. First thing I'm going to do is reorder these terms so it looks a little more clear. So this is going to actually be 8y plus -3. Oh, that's going to be an equals, not a that's going to be an equal sign, not a addition sign. Okay, so now I have 47 equals 8y plus -3, which is the same as 47 equals 8y minus 3, because when we're adding a negative, we're really subtracting. Add 3 to both sides. 50 equals 8y. I would finish this off by dividing both sides by 8. 50 over 8 would reduce to 25 over 4 if I divide those both by 2. 25 over 4, 4 fits into 25 6 times with 1/4 left over. So the value of y in this equation would be 6 1/4. You could also go back and plug in 25/4 times 8. 8 times 25 would be 200, divided by 4 would be 50, and then -3 plus 50 would be 47. So you can always go back in and just double check that you have the right value. All right, let's put this into some real world problems. And also, when you're dealing with decimals, you can multiply the entire equation by the number, a power of 10, that would clear out the decimals. So as you can see here, 24 and 1400ths, if I multiply that number by 100, it's really just scooting the decimal over twice, which would be get rid of that decimal, and then you would multiply everything else by 100. It's not a required method, but it is something that we can look at. All right, so let's see here. A 22.8-pound cat needs to lose weight. If the owner follows the vet's weight loss plan, the cat will lose 0.4 pounds per month. After how many months will the cat weigh 14 pounds? So we know at the end we want this cat to weigh 14 pounds. He is starting at 22.8 and losing 0.4 per month. And we can use M for months. Now, since I have two different numbers with a decimal, if I multiply this entire equation by 10, it is going to get rid of those decimals. 10 times 22 and 8/10 would be 228. 10 times 0.4 would be 4. And then 10 times 14 would be 140. Again, so, and then if there were two places after those decimals, we would multiply everything by 100, but there's only one place, so we're just multiplying by 10. Now I can have an equation that is a little easier to work with without the decimals. I'm going to first subtract 228 from both sides. Actually, no, I'm going to add 4m to both sides first to make it positive. So now I have 228 equals 140 plus 4m. Clear out this 140 by subtracting it. Which would be 88. Right, 8 minus 0 would be 8, 12 minus 4, yep. And then that equals 4m. Divide those both. By 4, and you would get 22. So after 22 months, the cat would weigh 14 pounds. And again, you could have also kept all the decimals and just worked with them that way. I chose to clear them out by multiplying everything by 10, whichever way works for you. All right, let's do a few more here. Okay. A family rents a moving van for $34.99 plus 59 cents per mile. The bill is $148.86. So write and solve an equation to determine how many miles the family drove. So we've already written the equation, the $34.99 plus the 59 cents per mile, and everything's going to equal $148.86. I noticed that there are two places after each decimal, so I'm going to multiply this entire equation by 100 to clear those decimals out. Not a requirement, but something to think about. All right, so now I am going to work to solve this equation. I'm going to subtract $34.99 from both sides, and I'm left with 59m. And I'm left with 59m equals 11387. Now I'm going to finish this off by dividing that by 59. And if I keep going with that division, I'm just going to plug it in the calculator in the interest of time. And that's going to equal 193. So the family would have driven 193 miles. And again, you could have subtracted $34.99 from both sides and divided by 0.59 if you wanted to. However, it's just a little bit easier to clear out those decimals. All right, and then again, we know that we can combine like terms or pull out common terms, and we're going to skip those for now. So if you are a little confused, it is totally okay. We are going to go over it, but for now, we're going to finish up and talk about it soon. All right, bye guys.